Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So I've just completed editing together part 2 of the mighty Vintage Antique Centre of Warwick, and yeah, it's been hard. So yeah, bear with me. There will be more after this too. I think this is Stuart Crystal. Looks like a John Loxton design. Is it marked? No. Yeah, so that's a post-war design. I might be able to, pretty certain it's in the catalogues, so I'll be able to pick that out. The book I'm looking at here is 20th Century British Glass by Charles Hajdamach. This is the bowl we were looking at. This is a bigger bowl according to the stats in here. So by John Loxton, like I said, 1965. So the catalogues I have are for 1964 and 1972. And this does not appear in either of those. I knew it was post-war, and I just thought, yeah, it'll be in there. But clearly, if it was issued in 1965 and then it doesn't appear in 1972, its run wasn't like continuous. Some of the things that they did were like for 40 years or whatever, but this wasn't one of them. But then it says it was reissued in 2000. Now this is much bigger than the one we were looking at. It's the same design, but this cutting on this looks sharper. The cutting on the one we were looking at is softer, okay, and that means that acid polishing was more harshly done, because that smooths off the edges of the cutting. I think the one we were looking at is from the reissue in 2000, because it doesn't mention size changes or anything like that here. So yeah, that's just my guess. Without a 2000 catalogue, we wouldn't know what the sizes are. But anyway, there we go. It is by John Loxton design. Yeah, I don't know what much else here is. Yeah, late Victorian. And you got this here. Let's have a look. Get the stopper out and have a look. Oh yeah, look at the way that is.
When they come, I'm really excited.
Yeah, I reckon that fit. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, so that's nice. Early 19th century decanter. So you may be asking yourself, why did he pull the stopper out and go, yeah, I think that's okay? So I just pulled this one out from behind me. So this is another period decanter, and I was looking at the stopper peg, and if you scroll back and watch, if you see here, can you see like a shiny band around the middle of the peg? That's where the stopper, so this is only true for rough fit ones, okay, but that is where the stopper rubs on the inside of the neck of the bottle. Now if it's got like a nice, can you see like this, you've got the original roughing here at this end and a bit at this end, but in the middle you've got a band, and there's actually a very highly polished bit as well in there. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 200 years of wear, where the rough has been polished down a little bit, and you can see where the stopper peg actually touches the bottle. And when I pull out a stopper, one, I'm feeling, does the stopper fit well? And then two, does it have this wear mark? And that tells me, if it does, that tells me, yeah, this stopper's been with this decanter a very long time. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for, which is why I just like pulled it out and went, oh yeah, I think I'm happy with this. Just thought I would let you know that's the little trick that I have. I didn't pick it up and have a better look at it because I've got my camera in the other hand, but if I was buying it, I would have picked it up, checked underneath it, had a really good look at it, looked for imperfections. And you've seen me do that in my other videos. So yeah, but that's what I was specifically looking for, because I'm not going to pick the whole decanter up and give it a good going over. I was just specifically looking for that. These are interesting decanters. They look very bohemian looking, yeah, because they don't look English. And also for the period that they would be from, you see the way they're cut there, with ground in, I should say. They're not polished in. Yeah, that's not very English. This is a nice joke. And yeah, so I don't know who did this, but this shape, it's in the Whitefriars catalogue for some of the 19th century stuff they do, and I might be able to pick that out and show you the shape. See, the way that handle is applied is a post 1870s one though. So I'm looking at the whitefriarsglass.com website, and this is the catalogue for 1860. And if you look at this jug and this jug and this jug, they are the same shape as the jug that we were looking at there. However, the handles on these are applied in the pre-1870 way, where they're applied from the top to the bottom. Okay, you can see that all of them are like that. All the jugs, in fact, are applied that way. The jug that we were looking at in the shelf, the handle was applied from the bottom to the top. So that means it's 1870s or later. However, in the Whitefriars Museum of London book, there is some pages, some catalogue pages from the 1870s, and this shape does not reappear. What that kind of tells me is that if this shape was going out of fashion by the 1870s, then the decanter we're looking at is probably from the 1870s, because if it was, you know, there in the 1860s very clearly, and then seemed to be fading in the 1870s, it probably wouldn't have been around in the 1880s. Maybe it would be, because it might be that other manufacturers would carry on using that shape, but I very much doubt that that shape would go on that much longer in use. I might be completely wrong. That's just me dead reckoning. But anyway, just thought I would highlight that little nugget. Yeah, I am less certain of this. It looks too chunky to be 19th century. It looks like it might be a post 1900 copy. Yeah, too chunky. These are nice though. These are very nice. I don't know who. If they're right, they would be early 19th century. What else is here? Oh, your tall glass in the background. That's Waterford Jasper Conran pattern. Is there anything? Oh, I can see. Oh yeah, it's got a Waterford mark on it. It's difficult to tell. It actually reads Waterford, so I don't even need to show you it really, because you could read that for yourself. I think I said Jasper Conran. I meant Jasper Conran. Yeah. Hang on, what's that doing there? Anyway, so I thought I'll have a quick Google. And yeah, we've got a pair here, mint in box, and they want £200 for them. Yeah, that was a bit of a shocker. I know it's mint in box, but £200 with a little certificate and everything. And I thought, is that right? Is that right? So I went somewhere else.
And this is as a replacement. So this is not mint in box, and it's dollars here, but it's 99.95. So yeah, they're not cheap glasses. Now I don't know what they. I didn't actually. Wait a minute. Let me stop this for a minute. So I thought, are those real prices or are they not? Go back to eBay, do another search, look for the sold ones. So this is a sold one for 9.9. In fact, actually, it's replacements. So replacements are actually. So that's the website that I was looking at earlier, where it was 99.95, and they are actually selling them for that. And there's a pair. There's a boxed pair here for 266.99. That's sold actually in January. So that is the real price. What a shocker. Yeah, I see them from time to time. I have no idea. Look, there's one's 120. Or is that? Yeah, one. So yeah, what a shocker. Anyway, so yeah, Jasper Conran champagne flutes go for a lot of money.
This is shaped after German wine bottles, Buch's bottle, Bootle wine, and yeah, and the way the handle is applied, yeah, that's a pre-1870s one, so that's more of a mid-19th century glass. He's got 1880 down. I think it's earlier than that, because the handle would be, by the 1880s, the handle would be applied the other way up. The book I'm looking at here is The Decanter, Ancient and Modern by Andy McConnell. This is the kind of bottle the decanter was derived from, with this handle on the side here. And you can see this handle is fitted from top to bottom. He's dating these 1865, but these are German. So yeah, these are actual wine bottles. The name I was trying to remember there is Boxbeutel. That's the kind of wine that was coming in. And yeah, and then this is the kind of derivative that we have. I think this one might be still a wine bottle, but this is the kind of derivative that you then see of those bottles. The one we were looking at is like this one here with the twisted stem handle. So he's got a bunch of dates down here, and he's saying that one is 1870. Okay, so you wouldn't put 1880, because by 1880 the handles are turned round. So what he's saying is, I think he's saying, let's get this right. He's saying this one's 1870, this one's 1870. He's put this one's got the handle going this way, and he's saying this one's 1870 and this one's 1870, because during the 1870s is this transition that was going on with the handles, and then these ones are all later. 1880, I think he's saying number 10, this one is 920. Okay, but you can see the handle, everything is post 1870s, pretty much everything. You wouldn't say 100%, but getting close on. The handle's going this way, and you wouldn't ever say a handle going this way is pre-1870. So there you go. Because the earliest I can find is there was a in one of my books, there's a pressed glass one where the handle's been applied this way, and that was registered in 1869. That's the earliest of that kind of handle I've ever found. Anyway, so yeah, it's very like this one, 1870. And what else? This is a nice one. Yeah, this one looks very right. And what's nice is, can you see the stopper? See the top of the stopper? It's got strawberry diamonds on it. And then it's got a band of strawberry diamonds around here. That looks really nice. So yeah, that's a good one, I think. And the base looks lovely and scuffed from here. Look at those in there. They look very kind of bohemian. I don't know who they're by. really. I don't even know what country they don't look English. But they're very, very fine quality. It's not my thing, but yeah, I know a good thing when I see it, and they are very nice. Yeah, I think this is Bohemian. Might be wrong. Might be Murano. Yeah, they did very similar flowers, and there is a way of telling the difference. I will try and pick that out and see if I can give you some advice on that.
Somewhere on the interweb, there is a little explanation showing the difference between the Murano and Bohemian enamelled flowers with the leaves, and that the difference is in the leaves. So I can't find it, but I did find this. And yeah, so what you've got here is with these leaves, it's got this line and these little lines like this. Yeah, and yeah, it's got labels and they're saying Bohemian, blah, 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 check. So I can't read the labels. I can't make it any bigger because this has disappeared. This is 2 years ago from eBay. So the source of this picture is vanished. But they're saying it's check. It's got a label. The leaves have got these little lines on, like the ones on that decanter set. So I think that decanter set is Bohemian. If I ever find that little thing, I'm going to save it properly so that I can show it again another time. So yeah, it is. I'm pretty happy that it is Bohemian, but I can't find the little thing that I said I could try. I'll try and find.
And then look at these Whitefriars. This one's Murano, but the two in the back there, Whitefriars. Yeah, I've seen this one in the books. I'll be able to pick that one out. And look at all these. Yeah, I'm terrible at those, but yeah, they look good. They, the Millefiori ones, and that's this little caning pattern here. You can see. Yeah, they're usually good money.
I'm on the whitefriarsglass.com website here, and this is the 1980 Whitefriars catalogue, and it has this page here. I'm a bit sad there's no colour photos, but what we've got, so the first two we were looking at, okay, were, so actually let me wind back a bit. So what you've got here is settings and patterns, okay. So the first two that we looked at that were on there that I said Whitefriars had this setting, okay, and one had a window cut like this, yeah, and there's only this window cut and this small one, but I'm pretty certain it's this one, and then the other one had this what's called brick cut. So you've got single cane brick cut and single pane window cut, I'm presuming. And then the other one, which was a bit fancier, was a window cut as well, but it was like this one, but it had a crown in the middle, which I'm sure signifies some, event or whatever, but I don't know what event it is. I can't find it in the catalogues or in any of the books that I've got, but yeah, it's got these like, this is called a candy twist. So it had these candy twists going off like this, but it's not exactly the same as the one here. But yeah, this is, I looked back a bit as well, and the catalogue for 1978 has a very similar setup, and yeah. So anyway, that's what those. I'm reasonably happy those first three that we were looking at were those patterns. There was another one which had no cutting on the globe at all, but he said it was Murano, and the colours, the colourway of it doesn't look like the Whitefriars ones tend to have a paler, softer look about them, and those ones were quite harsh colours. So I think it said it's Murano, and it probably is.
This is weird. I've seen another one like this. So it's a celery vase, but with a folded rim. So the fern pattern tells you it's late 19th century, but this is really a feature that you see on early 19th century glass, or even 18th century glass. Yeah, this is nice. That's all cutting, that's not moulded. Yeah, this looks like it's WMF. The style it is got a few names: Successionist, Wiener Werkstatt. It's like the German version of Art Nouveau, a bit more Germanic, you know, not quite so flowing and organic, I would say. A bit squarer, but still got some organicness about it.
So I typed WMF claret jug into Bing, and and it appeared. Here it is. I can't click through on this because it was for sale 2 years ago by Deco Days, and it's just not there. But this is the jug. It says Younger Still Portrait WMF silver claret jug. WMF, I think it's something like Württembergisch Metal Waren Fabriken or something like that. Anyway, it's German. It's from southern Germany, so it's not actually, you couldn't properly say it's a Wiener Werkstatt. It's Successionist. Wiener Werkstatt implies that it's from Vienna. But anyway, here we go. Here it is. And I did a quick, just see if there's anything to back it up, because obviously I can't click through on this. And if you go into here, it reappears again here. And this time it was for sale on Etsy, and again, still quite a while ago, so there's no further information other than here's another picture of the same jug. They've just called it WMF. They've not said anything in German. So, yeah. Anyway, date-wise, oh, hang on, here's another. Oh, no, that is the same one. Anyway, with that said, it should be sort of like circa 1900 to 1910. That's the kind of date you usually go for these kind of things, for this successionist movement. So there you go.
Look at this. So, yeah, I don't know who made that. It looks like it's something that either Stevens and Williams or Thomas Webb would do. And then you've got this huge Bohemian goblet that's late 19th century probably. That's quite nice. And you've got, look at this, Millefiori little bowl. It looks like a little something you put your pencils in. Little opaline jug there. I'll try and see it when I'm looking for the other stuff, opaline stuff. I'll see if I find that one too. This one here looks very Stevens and Williams. Yeah, there's some really. It's got lots of the sort of like foreign high quality stuff that I don't know here. Nice amethyst rinser in there. That's looking early. What else? Yeah, these are Bohemian. There's a frigga here. Look at the pipe. That's that'll be a late 19th century piece. This book is Decorative Victorian Glass by Cyril Manley, and yeah, here's a pipe like the one that we're looking at. It's a completely different colour. The other one was dark red, but yeah, this is the kind of work it is. And what he tells us is not very much. Typical Stourbridge pipe, so he's not telling you who made it. And the date he's given is circa 1900. Yeah, so quite vague really. It looks very similar to the one that we were looking at with these little blibbies like this. And yeah, but yeah, it's a decorative item. I don't think you would ever actually try to use it. Yeah. What else?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't kind of look crisp enough to be Lalique. It's probably Jobling or somebody like that. This opalescent bowl down here. Yeah, that looks Stevens and Williams. What else am I seeing here? Yeah, I don't know. So I will move on.
So I did a quick search on Jobling Bowl, and yeah, and I've ended up back at 20th century glass with the best reference. So yeah, here is the bowl that we were looking at, and a collector's guide to Jobling 1930s decorative glass. So he's got a good reference in there, page 41. So he's got a book reference and everything. So it's the 1930s. Yeah, so I'm happy. I actually got something right. Wow. Um, and I have to say, unexpected for me. Anyway, so there we go.
I did say to look up in here, look up here. There's some lovely bits of glass up there. It's difficult to point out what's what up there. In the back, there, can you see? That looks like it's Salviati. Sorry, it's difficult because I'm holding my camera so far away. This looks like it's Richardson's from the 1850s, 1860s. This is the Museum of London book, Whitefriars, glass, James Powell and Son of London. And yeah, so I was watching that back and then suddenly a little cog popped into place and I remembered this. So yeah, this is not Richardson's, maybe not. But that pattern there looks very like the pattern on that bowl. Now, the date on this is, it says 1830s onwards, but some of these jugs look later than the 1830s. I mean, some of them look 1830s. That one does a bit. That one does a bit, but some of these others look later. So, yeah. And if this is frosted glass here, that puts it 1850 plus anyway. So, and I think it is supposed to be. So, yeah, I think it's this pattern. And yeah, it might be Whitefriars. Yeah, it's difficult to tell. That little uranium bars on the end. That looks like it might be Whitefriars, I don't know. Yeah, there's so much of there I can hardly see it. Yeah, look at this. This is nice. Little Transvaal basket. 1920s, 30s.
So we're looking at the 20th century glass website here. And yeah, so this is the basket I'm going to look at. You can see there's two things in this texture that we were looking at, or color pattern or colorway that you want to call it. But yeah, here's a basket that they've got. It's not the same shape. The shape of the handle is not the same, but the way the handle is made, the texture, the surface is made of it is the same, and the same. Although the basket part of the basket is a very different shape, it's the same. If I go in, you can see it more closely, and he's saying this Harlequin honeycomb pattern is from the 1890s to the 1920s, and you can see the little bubbles like the one that we were looking at had that as well, mixed in with the sort of like the color pattern. And this is nice because it's got this little, you can see the bubbles more clearly here, and also you can see the texture on the handle is the same as the one that we were looking at just now.
Mary Gregory jug in the back, and then you've got a pair of Davidson cloud vases.
So I'm looking at a page from the Davidson glass catalogue from 1931 that I've downloaded from the 20th century glass.com website. And yeah, so this is the vase we were looking at. You can see it's got the same, well, I was going to say panel cut, but it's not. It's because this is molded here. This is all molded, but with these little scallops at the top here. It's exactly the same as this, and it's about the right size to be a celery vase. In the 1928 one, there's a very similar thing, but it says it's a parfait glass or something like that. So I'm presuming that's going to be a lot smaller than a celery vase, and those two vases looked the right size to be celery vases. So I'm comfortable that they are this one here.
Yeah, it's real treasure trove of everything in here. I mean, look at these. Got some really nice bohemian perfume vases there. Yeah, I don't know. These might be a bohemian, I'm not certain. But look at the giant Medina paperweights, and there's another one there. I'm not sure if that one's Medina. It might be Medina. I'll check. So I saw a glass fish with a coloured blob in it the other day, and here's another one. It looks like it's the same maker, and it's got a label on it, but I can't see it properly. It looks like it says something like Snadja. S. It looks like more S something AJA glass written underneath it. Yeah, that's a pain. I will try and Google around and see if I can find.
So after much Googling, no, I was unsuccessful. I'm being defeated by the partial label there. I did also see some fish on Facebook that looked kind of similar by Stockholm Glassbrook. I think this is the one. I googled that too, and yeah, kind of similar. But actually, these are not even stock. It's not even saying these are Stockholm. They're saying these are other makers. So yeah, I'm totally failed. It is what it is.
Couple of late 18th century, 19th century. Was here, and another frigga. This one's a trumpet in uranium glass. Yeah, that's quite rare. That's quite nice. So much good stuff here. What else? Oh, a couple of Masonic glasses. The glasses themselves look very Scandinavian, Norwegian, in fact, Hadland or Magna or somebody like that.
So this is a page from the 1935 catalogue of Hadland, a Norwegian glassmaker. I've downloaded it from the Mats Linda website, and yeah, look, I've never seen this in any of the UK things, but they've actually got here and here, and I think this is two. These are actual Masonic glasses, and you can see the style is kind of similar-ish, not exactly the same, and that's why it makes me think these glasses are probably Scandinavian. So this is from 1935. If I was to dig through other catalogues, I'm sure I could find more. But yeah, so these two and possibly this one are very similar in style and look to those glasses that we were looking at just now.
It's a nice Nelsie bottle. I've seen things like that in some of my books. I'll see if I can pick it out. This book is Antique Glass for Pleasure and Investment by Geoffrey Wills. And yeah, here's a similar flask. You can see this is a double one, so it's like basically two flasks heated and squished together. But you can see it still has the same riggery, this is called, down the sides. The lip, pouring lip's not quite the same. But anyway, what's nice about this one, because I've looked in a few books, and this is a very traditional kind of glass collectible, so it's in a lot of my older books, is he actually gives a date. So, Nelsie type, early 19th century. So that's where people would normally date these. They were made over a long period of time. I don't know what the different pouring lip means. This is a double, so it's a more expensive version. I like the look of the one that was on the shelf. The stripes were nicer than this one. But anyway, that's what it is. It's a nailsy flask. And I think that one they had was quite a nice one.
What else? That looks... Yeah, I think that's English. I don't know. I think that's probably mid-19th century, post-1850 plus kind of thing. These look very French. But yeah, I can't be certain. It might be Bohemian. They're super quality though. Look how fine. There's 4. But look how fine the gilding is. Yeah, some more things in here. He says those are Webb. 1880. I'm going to have a punt around to see if I can find more of that kind of thing. The book I'm looking at is Decorative Victorian Glass by Cyril Manley. And yeah, the 2 trumpet-shaped vases that we're looking at there with Webb written on them are like this one. Vaguely again, with the frill around the middle. The foot is this same pressed device that we've seen before. They've said Webb. Cyril Manley says Webb, circa 1900. My problem now is that I've been told by someone who's usually very reliable that there are mistakes in this book. I'm admitting I'm not genius at this Victorian decorative glass. It's just not the kind of thing that I've bought a lot of or looked at that much. So I think in this case I'm really trusting because the actual glasses, vases that we were looking at said Webb, and this says Webb. Unless, of course, the guy that's put those out has got this book and went, oh, look, it's Webb. Anyway, so that's where we are with that. The cup and cover in the middle there, that looks like it's Salviati. I'm fairly certain it is. This is nice and fine. It's like something Kralik would do. But yeah, his date's probably right there, 1900. It looks very Art Nouveau. Another piece of Salviati here. Yeah, and then just there's more down here. Look at these Murano figurines on each side. Yeah, not my favourite thing, but these are nice glasses. Really fine. 1830. It's probably about right. They're definitely, I think they're first half of the 19th century anyway. Look at these Italian Bernini. Yep, they're nice. Another clown. A couple more decanters in the back there. These ones look like they're out of stand. See how tall and thin they are. They're not really made to stand on their own. They get knocked over so easy, that shape. There we go, stand. This looks like Webb. Quilted ware, satin ware. This looks like it's Stuart Crystal, or Stewart and Sons as it would have been at the time. Yeah, I might be able to find that. It's very like the works they did.
I'm looking at the Stuart Crystal catalogue for 1927 that I downloaded out of the Stuart Crystal Facebook group. If you want to join that group, is in the file section in that group. Anyway, so these vases come in flint or green, and the green is the same green, that dark green. So, and if you look at, there's none of these are exactly the same as that vase, unfortunately. The top is like this, it's got a twist like this one, but the bottom is like this. Yeah, so it's kind of a bit of this one, a bit of that one about it. I said this is from 1927. My feeling that these are really sort of like a hangover from the Art Nouveau period. So these designs are probably from the end of the 1800s, and then they're still going in 1927. By 1938, when I got the next catalogue for this, these designs are all gone. So yeah, if that wasn't by Stuart, it's probably from the same period, where you're probably talking late 1800s through to probably 1930 at the latest, really. So there we go.
Yeah. A present from Workshop. There's no date on that. Damn. And then you've got a few more. Yeah, I don't know. This looks like it's Stuart Crystal as well. But yeah, I don't know the rest. The one in the back there's Lacey, might be American. And there's a couple of friggers. That's not a frigger, that's just a Epern. And then you've got another trumpet, twisted trumpet.
So the bowl that I said was Stuart Crystal is from a range usually called Peacock Trails. Can you see these ones? It's usually in green. So the question is, do they do other colours? It does look like they do purple. I have seen red before, but it's very rare. And some of them are, you can see it's blue and green. So the next thing is the bowl that we looked at was a particular shape. It was kind of like a bit like this shape, but it had a frill around it. Yeah, so what you're going to try and find then is, so that implies that it went on a stand and it was held up by a ring. And so I scrolled down, and then I saw this here. And yeah, it's a completely different thing, but it's got kind of a frill around it to hold it on a ring. Can you see? And so, yeah, so it's that kind of thing. And so go back, and then I'll try and find, I did see another one. If I can go far enough, it starts to get less of what we're looking at as you go down, but there was one somewhere. Where's it gone? Here we go. Look at this one here. So this is a blue and green one, which is a very, a more desirable Stuart Crystal one, and it does have a frilly ring around it to sit on a metal ring in a stand. So yeah, I'm still concerned about the red colour. Oh, there's one with no colour at all. But I have seen red before. The ring, clearly they're doing it because this is classic colour. The blue and the green is the classic for them. So I'm comfortable that it is that, and it's going to be, late 1800s, early 1900s, because it's really an Art Nouveau piece. And I was just scrolling back up, and there's a yellow one. So yeah, other colours are definitely on the books.
Look at these. Yeah. I think these are Scandinavian. I think these might be Hadland. I'm going to have a dig through my catalogues. They look like some of the stuff I saw in Norway. So yeah, they're quite cool. They wouldn't, if they are, they wouldn't be as early as he says. If they aren't, they probably are. But they look very bright.
So I'm going to show you some pages from Hadland catalogues that I've downloaded from the Mats Linda website. And yeah, so my concern is, I went to Norway last year on some family business, and while I was there, I had the opportunity to see the largest private glass collection in Norway, and they had a lot of Hadland glass, and it appears that they never really stopped making that glass, the sort of like Georgian looking glass. So this catalogue page you're looking at here, this is from 1965. I mean, these look like your classic, circa 1800 lemon squeeze rummers. Yeah, in 4 sizes. And you know, I've got other pages here. What's this one I've got here? So yeah, this is 1935. You've got more here with patterns on. Look, they've got this one as well. That's a different, and there's another what Georgian looking glass. Yeah, if I go back a bit further, look at this. Yeah, I think these are 1965. So yeah, they were still making these kinds of glasses well past the mid 19 and 90, into the 1960s, well, at least. So yeah, it's like concerning. I've seen these floating around on eBay as 18th century. Yeah, you see where I'm coming from now. Look at this more 1965 stuff. So yeah, I am. When I see a bunch of lemon squeeze glasses all looking perfect like that, and I know this is just one manufacturer that at least Hadland was making these glasses for a very long time. Other Scandinavian, Swedish ones were making very traditional looking glasses and decanters well into the 1930s and 40s as well. So, and I think on the basis that they have never stopped making the traditional designs from 100 years before. Yeah, so when I saw that whole pile of lemon squeeze glasses, it set alarm bells off a little bit. But anyway, they may not be Hadland, but they may be another Scandinavian maker. They have that feel about them and they look too bright and shiny.
So you've got a bunch of little glasses on the top here, various dates on them. It's got 1820 on there, that's probably a good date, somewhere around there. 1800, might be right. I was thinking it's not right, and then I realised it's panel moulding, which is early, so it's at least early 19th century. This one, it's got 1820 on it. This one looks earlier to me. This jelly glass. Just something about it. Yeah, 18. Yeah, these are all early 18th century little wines. And you've got another one. Yeah, lovely panel moulded glass. That's nice. That's quite cute as well. It's got 1800 on it. It's probably close to that. The book I'm looking at here is the Museum of London, Whitefriars Glass, James Powell and Son of London book. And yeah, so this is the catalogues, that's say 1830s onwards, and we're looking at this glass in particular. So yeah, a lot of the glasses were like this one with the what's known as a capstan stem with a little collar at the bottom of the thing like this. A lot of other glasses in here seem a bit newer than those ones. And then if I go over a few pages, we've got some of the jellies. And you can see all of these jellies have all got a bit of a stem, whereas that one just came straight down. Normally you either have the ones that with a bit of a stem tend to be early 19th century, and then they tended not to have a stem as you hitting back to 1800, and then as you go back earlier, then they tended to have little blobs in the bottom and other things. So anyway, that's why I think that one might be a late 18th century one, because it doesn't have a proper stem, it's just a drawn stem, whereas these have actually got actual stems. The other thing, the one that we were first looking at had cutting like this, or this one, actually more like this one here. So yeah, but so it was like this cutting on one of these glasses. Yeah, catalogues from this period are so hard to find anything. Actually, there's another glass that's embedded in here that's like one of those glasses as well. Why they've drawn this jug over the top of this one here, I don't know, but they have, and they've kind of like squeezed this glass on here. But anyway, that's what they've done. So there we go. So there's part 2. There's still quite a bit left, so I think there's enough for a very decent part 3. How do I feel about this one? Yeah, those dwarf ale glasses with the lemon squeeze bases. Yeah, I feel really uncomfortable highlighting those. I don't think they're right though, but they are very lovely. They're very, very lovely glasses. So yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. So with that said, all the references that I've used will be in the description below, as well as contact details for going to the Warwick Vintage and Antique Centre. And I hope you enjoyed this, and please remember to like and subscribe. There will be a part 3.